Good day, my name is Angelo. Thanks for joining us, and this is Mission Voice Tower, your most preferred YouTube channel. Alright. Now, Godwin Emefiele has come again. Yes, when I say Godwin Emefiele has come again, I mean it. Alright. Godwin Emefiele is here again. The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission have again, for the third time, exposed how the former CBN governor, the erstwhile central bank governor, Godwin Emefiele, allegedly impersonated, underline that word, impersonated the secretary to the federal government to allegedly steal money and funds in the tune of $6.2 million from the Central Bank of Nigeria. You know, there were lots of allegations. The first and the only allegation we had about Godwin Emefiele was his involvement in procurement fraud, alright, that ranged up to the currency devaluation and then the currency change and all that, okay. It implicated lots of deputy governors from the Central Bank of Nigeria and lots of directors from the same sector, alright. Now, the EFCC has for the third time amended, let me use that word, has for the third time amended the charges against Godwin Emefiele, and this time around they are alleging with evidences that Godwin Emefiele, in a written memo, he impersonated the SGF, the secretary to the federal government, in order to launder and steal $6.2 million. These details are so vast. You're going to hear every details pertaining Godwin Emefiele and how he impersonated the SGF, alright. In fact, let me tell you, his trial and arraignment is today at the Court of Appeal in Abuja, alright. And this is sad. He was granted bail in the tune of 300 million naira. He met his bail conditions, but today, Godwin Emefiele returns to court to answer for this new allegation, impersonation and theft in the tune of $6.2 million.
The federal government has for the third time amended the criminal charges it filed against the immediate past governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Godwin Emefiele. In the latest amendment charge taken before Justice Hamza Muazu of the Federal Capital Territory High Court in Abuja on Thursday, the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission accused Godwin Emefiele of impersonating the secretary to the government of the Federation to illegally obtain a sum of $6.2 million. According to the amended charge, with charge number CR/577/2023, Godwin Emefiele on February 8, 2023, connived with one Mr. Odo Ocheme, who is now on the run, to obtain allegedly $6.2 million from the Central Bank of Nigeria, claiming it was requested by the Secretary to the Federal Government via a letter dated 26 January 2023 with reference number SGF.43/L.01/201. According to the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, Godwin Emefiele allegedly claimed that the Secretary to the Federal Government requested the Central Bank of Nigeria to release a contingent logistic advance in the sum of $6,230,000 in line with Mr. President's directive. The EFCC said Emefiele made the claim despite knowing that it was false, and you thereby committed an offense contrary to Section 1, Subsection 1 of the Advanced Fee Fraud and Other Fraud-Related Offences Act 2006 and punishable under Section 1, Subsection 3 of the same Act. Still, in the amended charge, the anti-graft agency alleged that Godwin Emefiele in January 2023 forged a document titled Presidential Directive on Foreign Election Observer Missions, dated 26 January 2023, with reference number SGF.43/L.01/201. He is said to have allegedly connived with the fleeing Odo Ocheme to commit the illegal act, to wit, forgery. Furthermore, Godwin Emefiele was accused of conferring corrupt advantage on his wife, Omoele Margaret, and his brother-in-law, Omoele Makombo, by allegedly awarding a contract for the renovation of a portion of the Central Bank of Nigeria governor's residence in Lagos to the tune of 99.8 million naira. The anti-graft agency alleged that the contract for the renovation of the CBN Governor's Lodge, located at number 2 Glover Road, Ikoyi, Lagos, was awarded to a company named Messrs. Achikekon Nigeria Limited, wherein the duo are directors and majority shareholders. The EFCC said Emefiele's alleged action was a violation of Section 19 of the Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Act 2000. The amended charge sheet contains a total of 20 counts against Godwin Emefiele. The justice further adjourned till Friday, today, for Emefiele to take his plea on the amended charges. In the original charge filed against him in August 2023, Godwin Emefiele was accused of perpetrating procurement fraud to the tune of 6.5 billion naira. He was then charged alongside a female CBN employee, Saadatu Yaro, and her company, April 1616 Investment, who have now been taken off the case.
I told you sometime that the sins of Godwin Emefiele will continue to reoccur. I once told you, right? Yes, he felt he was free until the EFCC brought a new charge. Now, there are two sides to this story, all right, in case you don't know. First of all, because of or due to various complaints and various criticisms from various human rights activists and other lawyers and legal warheads, the EFCC decided to work according to the Constitution. How did they do this? They granted Godwin Emefiele bail. I'm giving you the first part. They granted Godwin Emefiele bail in the tone of 300 million with sureties and other conditions. He met his bail conditions after a long while so that it wouldn't be thought that he wasn't granted bail, because they obviously detained him more than the stipulated time. And then, first of all, they didn't want to charge him to court until they finally charged him to court under a charge of illegal possession of firearms. That was MEGA, all right? And then after Jim Obaze, the investigative accountant appointed by Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, finished a brief investigation, they now charged Godwin Emefiele with procurement fraud. Afterwards, they finally granted him bail, and then a few days ago, they granted him, his passport to travel out, all right? Then, forward to today, they amended the charges against him. That is a sort of foul play I won't be able to explain, but that is the first part of it. The EFCC is playing a high level of politics, and Godwin Emefiele is the victim, all right? Now, secondly, the other side is Godwin Emefiele is guilty and needs to answer these charges, because these charges are coming out one after the other, and that is the second part. He needs to answer all of this. The EFCC are deliberately allowing these charges come up one after the other, and time again, they amend these charges in order to suit what they want to do to the victim, Godwin Emefiele. Now, in another development, in a quest to make the country work again, Dr. Olisa Abakoba, the former president of the Nigerian Bar Association, has really spoken. He spoke, in depth, and what he said was really, really important. I would love you to listen to this particular interview granted by Olisa Abakoba. After the interview, I'm going to tell you what I think and what really the problem is.
Nigerians have in fact been overpatient since 1960. I have been that you are talking to. I've been overpatient. I was 29 when I entered this thing. Now I'm 71. What do you want me to do? Till I go to my grave? We have to take tough decisions. We need to assist our president. And we hope that our president has the energy to do the right thing. When we understand our president has the energy to do the right thing, you'll be very surprised are the kind of people that will come. What is the right thing? It's simply to make people happy. It's simply to reduce the price of rice from 60k to 6k. That's all. You think Nigerians are difficult people? They're the easiest people to govern. But the problem is people in Abuja sit and make rules that don't suit us. So President Tinubu must confront that evil. He must fight them. He must crush them. You say you don't like the word crush. I will re-emphasize that President Tinubu must crush the evil. These are devils that are stalling Nigeria and making us look foolish. He has to crush the people who don't want democracy. That's my view.
All right,
I don't care if you like it or not. That is my view.
Welcome back. This is still Mission Voice Tower, your most preferred YouTube channel. Now, did you hear that part that Dr. Olisa Abakoba said Nigerians are actually the easiest people to govern? Did you hear that part? That is true. That is absolutely true. Now, the other part says there are lots of things and amendments of policies that could actually be done in a week if the right stakeholders are invited. All right, that is true. Now, let's look at it from this perspective or from this point of view. All right, Nigerians are actually the easiest to govern. Remember when Rotimi Amechi in his speech said Nigerians don't react to anything. So that means if you place rules on Nigerians, they would have to follow it, right? Yeah, that's true. If you bring policies, Nigerians have no other option than to go by it. Yeah, that's true, all right? So invariably, from what Dr. Olisa Abakoba said in that interview, Nigerians are duly the easiest to govern. Moreover, he was talking from the positive side. So who would not accept development and growth in their country? Of course, Nigerians are not that gullible, all right? Nigerians are not that hardened, let me use the word. So Nigerians are always ready to accept development and growth. Now the second part is, maybe the presidency or the successive presidents that have come before Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu have always wanted the best. But the issue is the cabinet surrounding these people, those Abuja names, those big political warheads in Abuja, in the House of Senate, in the National Assembly. Those people are actually the main brain behind these policies that bring about hardship and economic imbalance in the country. So, categorically, from what Dr. Olisa Abakoba said in that interview, I could tell you for free that Nigeria is one of the easiest countries to govern, only if the right things are done. All right, that is just the brain box of the whole thing, because if you don't get governance right, then the output of politics will be very, very wrong and perceived wrongly. All right, so I think the first point of the start should be reforms, let me say, in the National Assembly, reforms in the legislature, like generally, all right, that should bring about development and a quick rejection of corrupt practices over time. Now, talking about making Nigeria work again, Constance Ikoku, an Arise News analyst, was of the opinion, in her explanation in this interview, how important politics is to the progress, growth, and survival of Nigeria as a nation. She is trying to explain or reiterate in larger terms what Dr. Olisa Abakoba was trying to explain in the last video. But stay tuned for Dr. Constance Ikoku. I think I will give you my view and cap it up with an explanation after the video. Please stay tuned.
So let's look at the conversation this way. I think this discourse shows us that politics underpins everything that we do. It is central to our progress and survival as a nation. And so why is it that we are still where we are? Because we haven't gotten the politics right. you must get politics right. And then you ask the logical question, why are we not getting the fundamental questions of politics right in our country? I think it's partly because we do not have that elite consensus on what is right and good for our nation, or we haven't decided. So why are we not having that elite consensus? It's also partly because the petty bourgeoisies are the elites, and they are much more interested in things that their own personal selfish interests rather than the greater good. These are difficult questions. These are difficult issues, whether you campaign during the election with it or whether you do not. It is important that we as a nation resolve this, however we're going to go about it. And so if we do not have rational and reasoning and yield to reasoning to do these things, we're just joking.
Welcome back if you're just joining us. Now, that was Constance Ikoku. She carefully analyzed what she meant in that interview, which all arrived at the topic, making the nation work again. Of course, the nation can work again. We've seen countries like Namibia work again. We've seen countries like China, after the long crisis or the long war, work again. We've seen countries like Germany, after the Adolf Hitler era, work again. We've seen Niger Republic work again. Burkina Faso is working again. All right. Lots of countries are working again. So Nigeria is not going to be an exception. All right. So from what Dr. Constance Ikoku said in that video, I would love to say here that politics is actually the focal point of the revitalization, or let me say, the beginning or the refurbishment of Nigeria. Yes. Now, if politics is gotten right, if we get politics right, then we will get governance right. Or let me start this way. If we get politics right, then we will get our leaders right. And if we get our leaders right, we will get governance right. And when we get governance right, of course, Nigeria must work again. So do you now understand what Dr. Olisa Abakoba and Constance Ikoku were trying to explain in that video? That should be all for now. I hope you enjoyed our updates together. Please like our videos, share them. Don't forget to drop comments for us in the comment section. If you're watching me for the first time, please tap the subscribe button and also the notification bell so that you'll always see me on time and promptly when I drop a new update. From my table is see you next time. Bye.